Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Ascension Diaries YouTube channel. My name is Alexis, and it is August 17th at 5:24 p.m. Mountain Time, and this is another report with yours truly. I just wanted to say first, before we jump into the report, which I have a really great one lined up for you today, that is a big thank you and a big heartfelt, connection just to recognize and discuss the video that I posted yesterday, which was a personal diary entry. And I know I do these reports, and this is more of my sort of professional desire and my pursuit, but I'm also really glad to have this safe space to also share my personal experience through this whole thing. And the amount of overwhelming love and kindness that I received from all of you was truly amazing. And I just want to say that I recognize that. I'm extremely grateful for that. And it completely blew my mind, and it gave me so much faith that was being that vulnerable was helpful, and it's something I consider a strength of mine, to be open and vulnerable, because I believe it really is conducive to huge growth. And I encourage and open up people to be vulnerable with me, and oftentimes I don't have the time or the space to share my own experiences as much, because I am such a healer, and that is such an ability of mine to open up in others, that's sort of my service that I give. So this channel is an opportunity for me to do that as well and show you in how my progress is going, because this is all a part of it. This is the Ascension Diary. So again, thank you, and I wanted to jump into the report. The first thing we're going to go over is the tarot card of the day. So let's look into that. So the first tarot card, and the tarot card for August 17th that I got, was the Seven of Earth. And the Seven of Earth talks about that the seeds for your ideas and your future and your desires and everything have been well planted. There is a temporary pause in action, and that there is unnecessary worry. I want to know, please in the comments, let me know if this card resonates with you for today. I personally believe that this is a great card because I went, like I mentioned yesterday, to the interview. I did not go to the bus driver interview. I realized this morning after my exercise that is not something I want to pursue, because driving a school bus in the middle of Canadian winter is not something I want to be doing. As much as I love children, I don't think I'm going to be the person who's going to be doing that. But I had wonderful opportunity offered to me at this other position, and it's showing me that I'm going to have to now I'm at a temporary pause with my life. I'm happy with how that turned out. I have to now deal with this other job that I have with the liquor store, and be like, hey, this is happening. This is what's going on. I'm not comfortable being here until 2:30 in the morning and things like that. So perhaps you've had something similar like that happen today. Whatever seeds that you've planted into your life, these are just examples from my own experience, and I'd love to hear about it. And that's the message that flew out of my deck this morning, or I guess just a few moments ago, to deliver to you. So I hope that was helpful. Now we're going to look into the energy that has been sort of around us. And I continually study these energies because I believe that they have an impact on our bodies, and that I'm personally sensitive to them. And I definitely was feeling some interesting energy movement today. I was feeling nearly fluish this morning after my exercise, and I haven't been exercising too much, but I've never felt so weak after exercise. And I had to meditate for about an hour and eat a bunch of food just to kind of feel a little better. And now I'm feeling that there's been a shift, and personally, I believe there might be a stronger connection between when the sun is actually up and my drained feeling, which seems like when it gets into the evening time, all of a sudden I'm able to sort of perk up and be more productive. And so that's a potential. I'm still looking into it, but also we're going to look into what the energies were recorded on scientific equipment here and see that unfortunately I don't have on the HeartMath any information about today, the 17th. I have information about yesterday and what I was going, you saw how much emotional upheaval I was going through yesterday. These are the readings that we have for where I'm at, which is the Alberta area. You can see that there was a blast near the end of the day. But compared to what has been happening in the energy here, it was not a hugely energetic day. So I don't have that to go off of, but I do have some data that can support my disruptions, and I'm going to be getting to that, but we're going to look into this first. You can see that there's actually 3 stations offline, so something is going on is another indication of that, because 3 out of the 6 stations are not giving any data, and they haven't updated the data for today either. So it's very interesting. You can see here another representation of that. If you'd like to look at the numbers, they're just right here. And we're going to move on to the Russian site that captures the Schumann resonance. And we can see here that we did have some activity, pardon me, last evening. So around 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Mountain Time, there was a bit of activity that came in, nothing too high. It only reached a power of 16. And you can see here on another representation what that looked like. It was a bit of a blast. We have been dealing with a little bit of energy here, though, that doesn't seem to really show up, to be honest with you, on this graph, which is interesting. But there is activity going on in the Schumann resonance, at least we can see from this chart. We can look into the actual frequencies. There hasn't been anything that's been too drastic. And we're going to move into the space weather. So we're going to focus more on what the sun is now giving off. So we were talking about the Schumann resonance, which is more about the planet, our planet's vibration, which is involved with just a lot of in and out energy moving related to the lightning, but lots of other things can cause it too. We can see here that the sun is quite active. There's a lot of bright spots. There's a lot of dark spots. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of movement in just the plasma altogether. On this particular video, which is the suspicious observers. Whoops, my supper is ready. That there has been big volcanic activity over the last 48 hours. Big earthquakes coming out of volcanoes around the world. So there's a lot of energy bubbling up out of the earth, which honestly was, you know, indicative to my own behavior, as a lot of energy and emotion were bubbling up through me. And I was having, you know, probably about 5 or 6 emotional crises, just like powering through them, because as a sensitive, you know, person, I'm used to these events going on, and I feel so much and I go through so much. And, but it's kind of funny. I felt like a volcano in a way yesterday, and over the past couple days I've been very uneasy, and I'm working on making that better with my own physical health, and I encourage you to do that too. It really comes down to getting your own body and yourself grounded again. And so I'm doing the exercise, I'm going to bed at a particular time, I'm eating very healthy. I'm eating the fats, proteins, vegetables. I have a really great diet thanks to my mother, and that she just chimed in as a great synchro, because she's taught me so much about vegan cooking, and she's transitioned and she's been feeding me well. We've been exercising together. My newest goal really is to get as healthy and as strong as I can, so I can continue to do these videos and earn enough and work and desire to have that balance, so I can be a functional member of society again. Because to be honest with you, it's been kind of up in the air the last little while, because I've been going through such a huge shift. And anyways, we can talk more about that again. I know this is relatable, and so we can look into, this is what I wanted to show you with the data though, is that the solar wind has been high for the past 2.5 days. It's been up above average. It went above to about 100 kilometers per second over average, and has been sort of staying there. And just recently, the data is coming in that it's actually up to almost 200 kilometers per second above average. So there is a lot of influx of disturbance coming into the electrical field of our planet, which we are inherently connected to because we are earthlings and we are electrical beings ourselves. So it's fascinating to feel it, to see it, and to experience it and see how this is all connected. And that's why I do this show. And so I want to show you again here with this is the geomagnetic, the K index, and we've hit mid-range sort of numbers for the past couple days, and we've been hitting in the yellow zone, which is of course mid-range sort of intensity, but we've been mostly chilling down here in the green zone for quite a while. So when there is this drastic of a change, almost twice as much activity or more coming in than we're used to, it's going to be noticeable, and it just shows that this is really a thing, this is a phenomena, and I'm glad to be able to watch it and follow it. And of course, the electron flux, another one that we've been watching, which it's interestingly, it's connected to the sun activity too, but I'm also noticing it's potentially other factors are involved. It's not as obvious as solar wind. It's a little bit mysterious, but still, we're having, over the last few days, we've been having this electron flux and behavior I have not seen. I've seen this behavior before with the red and the blue, and that was a cause for some interesting emotional turmoil. And timingly wise, it happened around the same time I think that Jace left last time. So it's weird that I have all these factors that I'm trying to bring together and make sense of it all, because it's so fascinating to me. And it is also very empowering to know that, as above, so below, there is a big, cosmic dance and a connection between my experience and the experience of the cosmos. We are the cosmos. And this behavior with the yellow and the purple line I have not seen before with conjunction to the red and the blue. So it's like we're getting twice as much crazy activity than we are used to seeing on this graph, and it's definitely showing up. If it relates to my own field has been nothing but just totally messed for the last couple days, and honestly, I'm noticing the last few weeks, and we have all these planets in retrograde. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I've heard, and the Leo King astrologer David Palmer mentioned that next week things are going to start shifting, and so there's been a lot of upheaval and shifting and discomfort and processing going on, and it seems like things are going to start lining up next week. So we're going to be here for that, and we're going to watch it together like we do. And let's look at the sun really quick, and so I can show you another graphic of this. I like to look at this graphic to sort of show you again that we have this big dark spot, which is magnetic. This causes a lot of solar wind to come in. No doubt this coronal hole has something to do with that, so that makes a lot of sense. And then we have, come on, show me this one, please. Please and thank you, computer. You can do it. Yeah, so I also like to watch this one because it shows how much is being expelled out into space, basically, from the coronal. We've seen mass ejections and coronal ejections that just shoot off in all directions. So when there's more energy leaving the sun, it definitely has an effect on us. And the sun is massive, like I've said, huge, huge, huge factor of the energy we're dealing with. So again, that's why I watched this graph. We want to look at the lightning. The lightning's been crazy. The lightning's been absolutely crazy in the United States and Mexico again. There's a lot of energy being pulled down as well as the coming out of the earth with the earthquakes. We've been having earthquakes all across the planet. Obviously in normal areas like we've been seeing is California, Alaska. I haven't seen anything this high up in Alaska before. Hawaii seems to be calming down, but again, as I mentioned, we have these big quakes coming out of these in Japan. We have quakes coming in China, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea. We have these volcanoes. You can see here that we have big activity just all day long is happening. This is real time. So this was just a few minutes ago, 11 minutes ago. This 4.8 was 47 minutes ago. And it also shows you the depth of it. So these are the volcanic, and these earthquakes have been deeper in the ground, but still there's a lot of rumbling going on. There's a lot of movement going on. It's due to the sun, and it's having an effect on us, and I think it definitely has more an effect than we really are led to believe. And so let's see how the collective consciousness has been processing it all today according to this research. and it seems like that we were able to reach a blue zone in the middle of the day. But for the most part, it's been hanging out. We've had a lot of red zone activity. So this goes along well with the fact that when the geomagnetics are messed up, our ability to sort of be at peace and have our brain waves and all of our electrical fields steady and connected to each other gets messed up. So we're at a yellow right now. It hasn't been too bad. But again, as I mentioned, the astrology is shifting. We're seeing a shift of Mercury going direct on the 19th in 2 days. A lot of people watch for Mercury going direct, and we have a lot more planets in retrograde. So Mars is going to be the next one, I think, going direct. And so things are going to start moving forward again. So this whole time we've been doing a huge review and cleanup process of a lot of things and distortions we've had in our own lives and our own behaviors. And I've been shown a mirror of my own just as much as I'm sure you all have. And I'm excited to see what forward progress is going to be achieved in this time too. So becoming zen while all of these things are flowing around you is really the key, and that's why I recommend doing the daily meditation and why I'm really going to be doing that and holding myself accountable, because it's just getting really wild and it's very hard to handle. I wanted to briefly look into the world news today just to get you a little taste of what they're feeding the collective consciousness and these energies. There is a lot of random stuff going on. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff about war, there's a lot of stuff about fear, but what I want to focus on the show and what I've really decided is I'm going to pick and choose a couple stories that are more positive and sort of go along the timeline that I want to be on. And so I have a couple things that I want to share with you. They're happening in my own world and in the new earth that I'm building with my community and people I love, and what they're doing to increase the consciousness and their own consciousness and spread the word of love and of oneness and of being whole as a human and navigating life with the highest ability. And that's what I'm going to talk about more. And one thing in the world news that I wanted to show you is that there was a point where I think there really is a shift going on, where obviously people are noticing climate change is a thing, and this is a reoccurring. You're seeing that these things come up and they reoccur over and over. It's just cycles. The news has not been helpful really in pushing forward any of this stuff, as I've been hearing about global warming since I was a young child, and it just shows that there's really little evolution happening in world news. And that's why people like me are taking over, because we're like, this is what's happening now, and we want to see progress. We want to push progress. We want to encourage those who are doing progressive things, not just talk about the same damn thing over and over and over and over. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's talk about this. Jace is in the field right now at a conference called Dimensions of Disclosure, and he sent me this video about sacred boundaries that I wanted to share with you somehow, and I think I figured it out. That was done by Elizabeth Wilcock. Some of you may know David Wilcock. Elizabeth is his wife, and she is an incredible warrior goddess. I've read like maybe 2 of her articles. I went on her site, and I swear it activated me to do qigong. Like, it's crazy. I don't know if you'll have the same experience, but her rawness and her in touch with her divine feminine warrior and her sacred boundaries. And that was a big theme for me today in the last couple days, has been setting up my boundaries and saying no. And this is holding myself more sacred in my energy and being like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm willing to navigate an answer or a thing, but I am not sacrificing myself for this if I don't have to, basically. And I really am starting to get that more and more. So she was mentioning sacred boundaries today, and I'm going to try and play it and see if you can hear. We'll give it a shot, okay? So let's start it over. And I have a couple more things I want to share with you.
So, having sacred boundaries, you have the right to have them, you need to have them. And so it's important that we know how to hold ourselves, be discerning, and say no. Thank you very much.
I love that. So simple. And I'm so glad he sent that to me. Shout out to Jace, of course. And he's volunteering there. He's watching everybody speak. And there's just so much light being shared and so much awesome inspirational stuff, reminders, insights. Like, it's just fantastic. And these gatherings are something I really got the message today that I really have to start pursuing. And so those of you who are living in Alberta and are following me on this channel, I think I want to do something. I want to just do a meetup if we can. And I want to know if in the comments, please, if you are watching this and you're from Alberta and you'd be interested, please put it in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. I think I'm going to start setting up stuff, because if I can't go there, then I'm going to bring gatherings here, because we deserve it. And there's so much to be gained by being with your like-minded peers. They pull you out of the holes that you get in and help you maintain your vibration, because it's so much easier with the community. So again, I wanted to show you another speaker and someone I admire, and a few people I admire. Her name is Bridget Nielsen. She's spoken a lot about aliens, hybrid children, but she's also talked so much about the evolution of a person. And she's an incredible vegan, fresh, raw, healthy person. She's got a great channel, Bridget Nielsen. I don't know if you follow it. Go check her out. Also, my friends at the Divine Frequency, Sterling and Teresa, they're doing interviews there at the conference and putting it on their Facebook page, which is just an incredible idea. And I just am so glad that they were organized enough to do that. And more of this needs to be happening. Yeah, so Bridget was mentioning that she stopped talking so much about aliens and about hybrid children, about these topics that are kind of nebulous. They aren't right up in front. We people do have these experiences, but they aren't happening every day for most people. And she noticed that the more that she talked about it, the less often she had that connection, and the more often people will disassociate from their lives. And I am guilty of this, because they want to be involved in something that is out of this world and completely unrelated to basically their whole lives, and it resonates with them. But again, it's about bringing it back into yourself and being the balanced person. And then when you are your strongest self, that's when those occurrences start happening again. And they don't want you to try and escape your life. They want to be incorporated into your life. So that was another great message that she gave today. And if you want to check out the conference is called Dimensions of Disclosure. You can find it on Facebook. They're doing live streaming, and you can also follow the Divine Frequency on Facebook if you want to see more tidbits and other outwardly interviews about that, and check it out, because I would highly recommend it. Someplace I really wanted to be this year, but I know I'm not there for a reason, and I'm still happy that I'm going to get to connect to it through Jace and through my friends who are doing this amazing work. I'm really, really proud of them. Final thing I wanted to touch on today was, and I know this is a long video, I apologize for the length, but I know a lot of you don't mind the sound of my voice, so I'm just going with it. This is a lot of great stuff, and I'm just hoping to make this show really beneficial. And anyways, is my friend and Brandy sent this video to me, and for those of you who don't know, Infinite Waters, no thanks, I don't want YouTube Premium right now. He has 1.3 million followers, and truly his vibration is fantastic. And I really liked the content that he put out today, and it was just today he released this video, and it's about staying grounded and trusting the universe. Two things that I've been struggling with over the past couple days, and that I really was working on getting back, because I know how. And he mentions a lot of it. A lot of it is just breathing. A lot of it is eating earthly things like coconuts and root vegetables, and bringing yourself down in your diaphragm when you breathe, and realizing that you have to have the whole process of this whole thing in our spiritual growth is to have faith in, trust in the universe, and what it's delivering you is something to teach you. And it was just a really fantastic, uplifting video. So if you come across any content that you want to have on the show, and you think would be beneficial for our little collective here at the Ascension Diaries channel, which is a great collective. There's like 1,300 of us. And then on the Facebook page, there's nearly 3,000 of us. So this is a collective that's really, really growing together, and it's a great number, and it's incredible. And it's only going to be growing, because I'm going to be feeding it and growing it, and we're growing it together. So please send me any content on Facebook, link it in the comments that you think would be beneficial and in the show, and I might just choose it and add it. Of course, I have my own discernment and my own, flow with the show, and it may not show up, but please don't give up on me, and just share with me all the stuff that you think would be good for everyone to experience, and I will try and include it every once in a while I get to. So that is the end of the show for today. I want to thank you all again so very much for being here, for being part of the channel, for liking the video, for sharing the video with other people, talking about it. I really want to, of course, make this it's a regular thing in a community that's growing together, and a tribe. So I'm really happy that the tribe is here. It's growing. It's super supportive and amazing, and a really healthy place to grow. So I love you all very, very, very much from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful for you all, and thank you all for supporting me on Patreon. I really appreciate it. If you would like to have a session with me, you're also able to email me, and you can pledge $50 for a limited time, $50 or more, and you can have an hour and a half session with me once a month to basically just have that bonding one-on-one connection to help us keep our vibrations up, to do some tarot reading, to discuss what you went through in the month, and to perhaps talk about things that we could do with your own schedule and your own behavioral patterns and your own thought forms that you don't even notice you're saying sometimes, to sort of help you just, advance quicker and not stumble over yourself. You don't have to do this alone, and I'm here to help. And just as much as a lot of you have been here to help me, it's just a way that I've opened up a cyclical, energy exchange. So thank you again for being here, and I will be seeing you again tomorrow. Goodbye, angels.